Welcome to the first episode of Change Makers Live, where I am bringing amazing change makers like Loretta Hart from the Happy Chicks Collective into my home for a good old cup of tea. Because growing up, I was always called the brewmaster. I am very, very good at making cups of tea. And we are going to be having conversation around what it is that Loretta does in the world and what is it to be a change maker. So you don't have to have a profile to be a change maker. And when a change maker really discovers their voice, that is when the great things can happen. And so today, we've got the lovely Loretta here. We've spent the weekend together.
It's been beautiful.
It's been gorgeous, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's been so lovely getting to know you and Matt more and your beautiful children.
Thank you for having us.
And we've got this great opportunity here to have a chat and share what it is that you do in the world. And so let's start there.
Okay, let's do that.
Let's share with our viewers what it is that you do. Why did you start the Happy Collective?
Well, I started Happy Chicks Collective really because what really pains me is to see people who are unhappy, who are stuck and frustrated and really just accepting of the beigeness in their life. But beige is a great colour. You know, it goes nicely with browns and rich tones. But I don't think we are supposed to live a beige life. I think we get to have splashes of pink and orange and yellow and green and vibrancy. So I started Happy Chicks Collective because I wanted to start conversations. I wanted to have real conversations like this with cups of tea with women about what is possible, what else is possible.
Quite often, I believe, I started Speaker's Little Secret because discovering my voice and having that ability to speak up was a challenge for me. And so it became the work that I do in life. And so if we turn that around on yourself, was there a period of time in your life where things may have been a bit beige and you wanted to go and discover new things or find a different way possibly? And if that was the case, how did you do that?
Yeah, beige is a word, but the other thing that I remember feeling a lot was that there was my life and then there was me, but between us was glad wrap. So I could see it all, I could hear everything, but no feelings used to penetrate. Does that make sense? So I could be in a crowded room, I could be with my family, but I felt so isolated and I felt, really alone. And that was, after, we had a loss of a child, we had loss of family members, we had big moves happening in our life. And for me, a way of coping with all of that was just to pack up all my emotions and put them in a box. Because I was, I didn't have time for them. I had little kids. And I didn't want to expend any more energy crying over what had happened. So I packed them all up neatly, put them in a box, and just thought I would just carry on living. But the result of that, the not feeling, the putting them away, is that not only did I put away the pain and the grief, but I put away joy and excitement and anticipation and all those beautiful emotions as well. So that's really my journey that I've been on, is about unpacking my box, unpacking and understanding and learning how to feel again, and feeling in a way that doesn't scare me, feeling in a way so that I can be open with people, be vulnerable and make beautiful connections. Because that's what I missed.
That's it, isn't it? And we were talking, weren't we, about that, the connection. It's all about connection and connecting with others. And so in your work with the Happy Chicks Collective, you talk about the barriers to happiness.
Yeah.
And so can you share with us a little bit about what that is? What would you say are the three main barriers to happiness? Yeah.
So when I talk to women, I say, if I have a magic wand, if I could wave it all over your life, what would you love life, to be looking like and feeling like? And for some of them, they actually don't know. So that's the biggest barrier. Yeah. Is like, what is it that I would really like? Often what they say is just not this, like where I am at the moment. I just don't want this anymore. Or they say I want less stress, or I want not be yelling at the kids. And unfortunately, they're very achievable goals for a dead person.
Yeah.
less stress, not yelling. So, but to actually understand what it is we do want, like what do we want more of, that is the first part. That's the biggest barrier to get over. It's about getting clear on what does happiness look like for me, because it looks a bit different for you, and it's not like a Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
So what does happiness look like for me? What am I doing? What do I get to do in this happy life? Like, what am I passionate about? Who do I spend my time with? How do I look after myself? All those things that we get to build out what it actually looks like.
Yeah.
And when you've got a destination, you can move towards it.
Yeah, it's the clarity. It's the
Yeah.
clarity of knowing, even not knowing 100% where you're going,
No,
because
no.
I don't think that you ever do,
No.
but having an idea
Yeah.
of where you're moving towards in a positive light.
Yeah.
So not so much moving away from pain. I'm going this way because I'm moving away from the pain.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to move towards this vision that I've created.
That's right.
That I can see.
And happiness isn't just the absence of pain. I'm really glad you said that,
Yeah.
because we can weed a garden,
Yeah.
but the plant doesn't necessarily flourish. If you just take out the pain and the grief and the sadness and the stress, and take out those weeds, the rose doesn't necessarily thrive, because it still needs water and sunshine and fertilizer and all those things that we get to bring in to be part of our lives. Joy and anticipation and excitement, connection and passion and purpose and all those other things. And the other thing is that, I will have to say this, happiness doesn't live at the end of the road and we just have to work out how to walk down that road and knock on the door and open it. Yeah? Happiness is actually felt all the way along the journey. Life is a journey. We are continually moving. But the thing is, when we get an idea and understanding of what happiness can look like and feel like for us, then we can notice it happening every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I think it's that being in the present moment. And I think when I realised personally that there wasn't anything wrong with me.
Oh, how nice is that?
If I was having a shit day,
Yeah.
I'm having a shit day.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's all part of the human condition. Yes, of course, we're going to have these emotions that we feel, but I feel like the work that you do is so important, because what you're inspiring people to do is know the happiness and then know how to get there when they want to or need to.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's not about, like you said, it's not about the absence of pain. It's not about that there's got to be something to fix.
Yeah. No one actually needs fixing.
Nobody needs fixing.
No.
And that's been a huge realisation for myself.
No one
Absolutely.
needs fixing, and there isn't actually a pill, even if there was,
Yeah.
to fix it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I say it to people, I don't have magic pills, I don't have silver bullets, and I don't give out pink ribbons to tie around things because everything's perfect. That's not life. It's about the journey. But you said, what are the barriers? The first one was clarity. The second one you just touched on. The second one is time.
Yeah.
And people say, I don't have enough time. Oh my God, I'm so busy. I don't have time to do all these things. You tell me to put more into my life. I can't hold on anymore. There's so much. So what I say to that is that we all have 168 hours in a week. We sleep about 60 of them. Well, that'd be nice if we did.
Yeah, that'd be lovely. That'd be great.
At the age of your children. But we all have the same amount of time in our week. It's about how do we use the time, and not like, are you driving the kids to school, or are you making sandwiches, or are you, washing the floors? No, it's more about when you're in that time, are you present in that time? Are you experiencing? Are you living in that time? Or have you transported yourself into the future, with anxiety about, oh my God, there's that confrontation I've got to have with that person, I wonder what the fallout's going to be, and there's, the stress and anxiety about that. Or are you living in the past? Are you living with regret? Like, why did I make that decision? I can't believe I was so stupid, and berating ourselves about what has gone, in the past. So it's about being in the present, about being as, living as consciously as we can. What do I choose for this moment? Do I choose to be bitter and twisted? Do I choose, you know, to be being pulled off into anxiety. What if I just take a breath? There's a little thing that I use. It's called STOP. STOP.
Yeah, okay.
Stop. T is for take a breath. O is to become open to where you are. Like, actually just look around and go,
oh, that actually made me take a breath. That was wonderful.
Oh, look at this. Look at we are open in this moment.
Yeah.
And then P is for proceed. So just get back into it. It's as easy as that.
I love that.
Yeah,
Stop.
STOP. Yeah,
Right.
Stop, take a breath, become open to where you are, and then proceed. Yeah.
Great.
So that's how you can use your time.
Awesome. And the present, we're talking about being in the present, is so very important. And I think we touched on earlier, knowing those little things that you can do in each day to be present, you know, to enjoy your lovely cup of tea, or to spend time with your children, or to go for walks in nature, and just knowing what is it that makes you feel alive and present and able to take that breath in. Actually, that's just reminded me of something that I'd love you to share.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about yesterday, John Travolta.
Oh, okay.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, sure.
You share that. So this is in regards to the work that you do, the work that Loretta does, and I love the story that you share here.
Okay. So people say to me, why do you do what you do? And I say, well, do you know John Travolta in the movie Pulp Fiction? And they say, yeah. And I say, you know him and Uma Thurman, and they're in the cafe and they're doing their dance. And they go, yeah. And I said, well, you know, then they go home and then Uma, I don't know, overdoses on cocaine or heroin or whatever it is. And John Travolta's like, oh my God. And he's got this, you know, comatose, nearly dead woman in his arms, and he races off and he gets a hypodermic needle and he grabs it and he goes bang in her chest. And she goes, like this. So...
And she wakes up.
She wakes up, right? I want to be John Travolta.
Yeah.
I want to walk around and stick hypodermic needles in women's chest. Not really, but I just want to go, you know what? Wake up. Do you know what? There's another way. You have been beige, or you have been stuck, or you have been whatever.
Let's wake up.
Let's wake up, because you know what? This is not a dress rehearsal. You don't get to come past this way again.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So what are you doing today?
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. I think that's a great analogy.
Yeah, I think John and I have a lot of similarities. Yeah.
Especially the dancing. Okay, so third barrier to happiness. What would you say that is?
I think the third barrier is, there's lots of barriers, but I'll choose one, is the sense of hopelessness. That people feel like there's actually nothing that I can do that is going to change my circumstance. And that can be a really heavy place to be. Yeah, a really stuck place to be. And, you know, they sort of feel like, well, I'll just continue the way I am. You know, and we almost contort ourselves into a place of discomfort that we can just manage.
Yeah.
You know, giving of ourselves, you know, working really hard, long hours, whatever it is. It's like, it's okay, I'll just stay like this, because it feels like it's hopeless to do anything else. And the thing is, well, you know, you've got a couple of options. Like, if you choose, and it takes courage to make this choice, if you choose just to say, I'm ready for change, then it could be bloody wonderful. It just could be amazing, yeah? Or it might get worse. It probably can't get a whole lot worse than where you are at the moment, but it could be really amazing. And people go, oh no, it's fine. You know, I'll just stay in this stuck space.
Yeah.
And they can imagine themselves doing it for the next week or the next month. But if I said, what about for the next 20 years? Like, are you prepared to be like this in your stuckness and contortedness, you know, for 20 years? Is that what you want? No, I don't want that. And I'll go, well, do you want to make the change today, or 19 years, 364 days from now? Like, we're in that point. Are you ready for the change? And people get to be ready. They get to be open to doing that work and doing that change. So this sense of hopelessness, I think, is a massive barrier. That, you know, I've tried something, it hasn't worked. But I think the thing is that it's a journey that you're on. You know, you're not the same person that you were 10 years ago, and hopefully in 10 years' time you'll be an evolved person from this point. And we get to do small, consistent things along the way to make that journey better.
Yeah, and I think trusting is a big thing. Trusting that it's going to be okay, and if you do have the courage to take that step to make the change, just trust yourself that is the right way to go.
Yeah.
And go from there.
And I think the friend that walks with trust, that holds trust's hand, is forgiveness. Because maybe in the past, maybe we've made some decisions that haven't been great for us, and sometimes that we lose trust in ourselves.
Yeah.
We think I can't because I don't make good decisions. Well, the past is the past, and we get to just forgive ourselves and acknowledge that we're probably doing the best that we could have done in the situation we were in with the resources we had at hand. And that's all we can do in any moment in time.
Thank you so much for sharing all of those golden nuggets with us, Loretta. What's the vision now for Happy Chicks Collective? Where are you going to take it?
I'm going to go and buy a whole lot of hypodermic needles for a start. Let's go and start jamming people. I want to have more real conversations with women. So I do that in my Happy Chicks Collective Facebook group.
Yeah.
I do that in my live events. I do that in my workshops. I do that in my programs that I take women through, group and one-on-one.
Yeah.
And I want to do that. I haven't done it yet, but I want to do it in podcast. I've got a book that's on the bubble, on the boil. So it's about creating lots of conversations that then have a ripple effect out to further and further communities.
I would say that you are absolutely a change maker. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on our first ever episode.
Yay!
It's wonderful, and thank you so much for sharing with us and being here. And I look forward to seeing where the Happy Chicks Collective goes. Thank you so much.